Welcome to the Brief Gist podcast, where we break down the biggest global stories and hidden truths shaping our world. If you're new here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss a deep dive like this one. When I was a kid, seeing an aircraft carrier in a movie felt like witnessing the absolute pinnacle of military might. For decades, these floating cities have been the backbone of U.S. strategy. Why were they seen as such an unstoppable force for so long?
I totally get the awe-factor aircraft carriers' projected strength across the globe. Think about it. Thousands of sailors, dozens of jets, and the ability to show up anywhere, anytime. They basically let the U.S. Navy park a slice of America right off an adversary's coastline.
That parking a slice of America image really captures it. It's wild to think their dominance went almost unchallenged for most of the 20th century. But lately, there's this sense that the old rules are being torn up. Are we seeing a turning point?
Honestly, it's feeling that way. The world's caught up in a new arms race, and what once made carriers untouchable is now exactly what's making them vulnerable. The rise of certain missile tech, especially hypersonics, is forcing everyone to rethink the playbook.
You mentioned hypersonics, let's dive into that. These weapons almost sound like science fiction. What makes them so different from the missiles we've seen before?
What's wild is just how fast and unpredictable they are. Hypersonic missiles fly at least 5 times the speed of sound, and here's the kicker. They can zigzag mid-flight, making them practically impossible to intercept. No surprise. Even the best air defenses just can't keep up.
So, it's like the difference between dodging a baseball and a bullet, but the bullet can swerve at the last second? That's terrifying. Who's actually ahead in building these things?
China's definitely leading. Its DF-17 missile has a 2-0-kilometer reach. Russia's already using hypersonics in combat, and even Iran has fielded its own versions. Meanwhile, the US is lagging behind, which is honestly pretty shocking given their historical edge.
It's almost surreal hearing that the US is behind in missile tech. I mean, what happened? Didn't America essentially invent the modern cruise missile?
It does feel like a plot twist. U.S. programs have been delayed, canceled, or redesigned over and over. The Navy even scrapped their hypersonic anti-ship missile plan, saying it was just too expensive and the factories simply weren't there to build it.
That's a huge reversal. And meanwhile, Russia and China are churning out hundreds of these weapons in the time it takes the U.S. to even get prototypes flying. It's not just about tech, it's about the whole industrial machine lagging, right?
Exactly. And the numbers paint a stark picture. Russia reportedly built almost 200 strategic missiles in a single month. The entire US and NATO combined won't field that many in a year. It's not just a technology race. It's a manufacturing sprint the West isn't winning right now.
All of this brings up a pretty haunting question. If carriers can be targeted and possibly sunk by these new missiles, what's their role now?
That's the big dilemma. Carriers used to be the ultimate symbol of projecting force, but now, their very presence could become a liability. Losing one would be catastrophic both politically and militarily. Some strategists even suggest carriers might have to stay so far from enemy shores, they'd barely matter in a fight.
That's a radical shift. Imagine telling a Navy admiral in 1980 that their flagship would be forced to hide far from the action. So what's next? Do we double down on building new carriers? Or is it time for a total rethink of naval power?
It's tough to let go of such an iconic weapon, but hypersonics force a rethink. Instead of just building new carriers or missiles, the debate is turning to completely new strategies, like dispersing fleets, investing in new defenses, or even reimagining what naval dominance means in the 21st century.
This all begs the question, can the US actually catch up? Or are we watching the sunset of the aircraft carrier era?
Honestly, it's still up in the air. The US has the resources and innovation to adapt, but it'll take a massive shift in priorities and probably a willingness to break some old habits. It's not just about building new missiles, it's about changing the whole mindset around naval warfare.
That actually gives me a weird sense of hope. History's full of moments where a threat forced a total reinvention, and those are usually the turning points. Maybe this is one of those moments for the Navy and for military power in general.
Could be. Either way, it's a story worth watching, because what happens next could rewrite the rules for decades to come. If nothing else, it reminds us how fast the balance of power can shift, and how quickly even the mightiest traditions can be upended.
This has been the Brief Gist Podcast, where we cut through the noise and bring you the story behind the story. If this episode gave you something to think about, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Drop your thoughts below. Have hypersonics ended the era of the carrier, or can the U.S. pivot in time? Until next time, stay informed, stay curious.